What if I told you that over the last 300 years, or roughly 10 generations in your family, there have been approximately 1,024 people that have made you, that are your direct descendants, meaning they're your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, that in 300 years, 1,024 people had to be in the right, part in their lives and the exact right spots and know the exact right people to make you over 300 years. And that's just 10 generations. Wait till you see what happens when we go back even farther. So today, this evening, whenever you're watching this video, in Why Math Why, we're going to be saying how. How is that possible? And I'm going to show you. So let's start out with this basic notion. And you're going to watch me draw some sick artwork here. And by sick artwork, I mean you're not going to be happy with me. So that's you, right? Yeah, the likeness is unbelievable. And then here's your parents, the people that came before you, whether you knew them or whether you did not. We each have a maternal and a paternal side. And then you have another generation, call that the second generation before you. Each of those people that begot you, they had parents. And I'll stop it at that point because you don't want me drawing tons and tons of stick figures. So that's 2 generations back. So 2 generations back, and really the number of people just right here alone is 2 to the second power, or 4. So that's 4 people. This is 2 people right there, obviously. The next row, each of these people will have a maternal and paternal side. And you see where this is going, so that's going to be 8. And then the next row will be 16. And it makes sense that we're going 2, 4, 8, 16 because we are doubling each of these people, doubles the amount of people on the next row. So when I say there's 1,024 people that made you, that's actually lowballing it. That's not the total sum. We're not adding up all the people in this pyramid. What we're doing is you're finding the number of people in the 10th generation. So if you go back to the 10th row, there's 1,024 ancestors. In the 10th generation alone. That's crazy. That is nuts. And we get that because 2 to the 10th power is equal to 1,024. So that's nuts, knowing that that's actually lowballing the number of people that came before you. Like I said, it's the number of people in the 10th row, not the total number of people in the 10th plus the 9th plus the 8th. That's a whole nother video for a different day. So what happens if we go back, let's say 600 years? If you go back 600 years, that's like another 10 generations, right? So 300 plus 300 years. So that would be 2 to the 20th using this pattern. And if you do 2 to the 20th power, you get 1,048,576 people. Again, that's only 600 years ago, and that's just in the 20th row. Because in the 19th row, and that's significant, if you go in the 19th row, think about that. That's 1 row below to the 20th. You got 524,000 people. New, different people, not included in the 1 million. All of these people came before you. There's no denying it. Let's say we go back even further. Let's say we go back, 2 to the 50th power. All right, 2 to the 50th power is, that's a long time ago. We can't fathom that. If you have roughly a generation every 30 years or so, then you're going to have 10 generations. So if you have 30 years for one generation times 10, times 10 generations, you're going to have 300 years in between, right? If it's 30 years per generation. So that makes sense. So 2 to the 50th is 30 times 50, or 1,500 years ago. That's a long time ago. I wasn't there. You weren't there. But 2 to the 50th, holy cow. Oh, this is a huge number. It's 1.1 times 10 to the 15th. Just how big is that? So a trillion, so 1 trillion is 1 with 12 zeros. This is 1,000 trillions. And that's how many people in your lineage alone occupy the 50th row of people. Never mind adding up all the other rows. Just the 50th row, 1,500 years ago, all those people somehow living out there in the world made you. Now, here's the crazy part. Were there 1,000 trillion people in the world 1,500 years ago? Guess what? There weren't. Do you know what that means? There was far less than that. There were in the low millions. So that means, I mean, you can use your imagination. I don't want to get into well, could be pretty gross. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to get into that. But I do want to get to the point that this proves that we all have to be, at some point, related. And I'm not getting into this from any kind of religious point of view. I'm getting into this from the logical, mathematical view. A lot of us share the same genes. World peace should be able to come from this math, y'all. But at the very least, a sense of awe should come from it. 1,000 trillion people. And there weren't that many people. So a lot of us are related. Man, that's just after 50 generations. Unbelievable math. You did it again. So I hope that this was at least awe-inspiring. But math, and simple math at that, just multiplying by 2 again and again, proving that the world is a lot smaller than we thought it was. All right, y'all, I hope you keep mathing hard. I'll see you next time. Peace.